Sports Team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
Good morning and welcome back into another week of football and another start to your Saturday right here on the Southern Tier Kickoff Show. It was a bit cool out this morning, and with the colder weather comes conference play. The Big Ten getting into the heart of its schedule, some marquee matchups right around the corner, but this weekend, two of the top three teams in the top 10 in the rankings need to take care of business at home against unranked teams. But before we get to that, let's meet the rest of the team here this morning. As always, Kevin and Kyle on my left. We have Keith Savage here on my right. Gentlemen, how are we doing this morning?
Can't complain.
I mean, it's a great day for football, and like I mentioned before here, I mean, I'm also a big hockey guy. OHL players allowed into the NCAA now. So, I mean, I just love college sports, man.
You're going to sneak that in somehow, no matter what.
I'm just a sports guy.
We were talking about that before the show starts. It's like, okay, let me figure out how to get that on Southern Tier Kickoff.
Oh, I've been thinking about that since about 10 this morning.
We'll sneak in a little MLB playoffs mention, too.
LGM, baby. How about yourself?
I feel ready to go over some of these college football games.
All right, so then let's get right to it as well. We start again this morning in Happy Valley as the number 6 Penn State Nittany Lions are hosting UCLA, with the Bruins possibly not having their starting quarterback for this one. Kyle, what can you tell us about this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, Penn State hosts week 2 of Big Ten play today at noon in Happy Valley, where the CBS 6th-ranked Nittany Lions will take on the UCLA Bruins. Penn State enters week 6 sitting at 4-0 on the season and 1-0 in conference play. The Bruins, on the other hand, a rough start to this season, to say the least. UCLA sits at 1-3 on the season, with their only win being by 3 points against Hawaii in week 1. The Bruins have given up 34 or more points on defense in 3 of their 4 games this year, while on the other side, Penn State has scored 34 or more on 3 of their 4 games. Last week, Penn State put on a promising display against Illinois, going back to the traditional Penn State ground and pound offense, picking up all 3 scores on foot. Penn State's defense looked solid as well, adapting to similar play calls from the Illini, including A.J. Harris switching assignments mid-play, jumping a 4th down pass for a game-sealing interception. In the last 5 games these two teams have matched up, though, Penn State is 1-4 against the Bruins. Penn State head coach James Franklin talked about the dominant run game from the Nittany Lions last week.
And we were able to run the ball and do it in a very physical way. Not only the O-line, to answer your question, but also the running backs. There was some punishing runs that Nick Singleton and Katron Allen and Tyler Warren as well. There were some physical runs. So I've been pleased with that group.
And the keys to the game for Penn State this week will be feeding the hot hand. Katron Allen and Nick Singleton are back to looking like the best backfield duo in the nation after a sophomore slump last year. Maintaining the defense and feeding those big boys is going to be essential. The defense has been solid, putting pressure on the defense as they did a great job shutting down Illinois last week. 34 yards on the ground for the Illini. If Penn State can do that again today, they'll set themselves in a solid position. Lastly, having to do a good job at using motions, changing tempos, and play actions. Keep doing what works. Defenses on their toes and catch them off guard for big plays downfield. The movement before the snap has been huge for Penn State so far this season.
All right, thank you so much. What do you think about this game? I know we talked a lot about defense on that one. What do you think the offense is going to do? They've been up and down. They have had some games where they've absolutely blown out teams, and then some games where, teams that may not necessarily be up to their level of competition, they've stood right with. So do you think Aller and this offense is going to be able to do anything today?
Yeah, like James Franklin was saying there, the run game is what's really important to this game. Control the tempo, get out to an early lead. You're playing a team that you should beat 10 times out of 10. UCLA has really struggled, may not even have their starting quarterback today. So if you run that ball hard, take the lead early, and just Penn State needs to be in the driver's seat today.
All right, you think they're going to be able to do that?
Yeah, this game's going to be a blowout. UCLA is outside the top 100 in almost every single statistical category. Penn State, all around, this team is good, and this offense is going to stomp on them. It's 28-point spread. I think it's going to be a 35, 40-point win. It's not even going to be a close game.
All right, well, you're talking about the spread. Let's get into it real quick with our picks, as you mentioned, and I'm going to go ahead with Penn State as well. I mean, this is 28 points on the spread, but ultimately you have a team in Penn State who is ranked in the top 25 when it comes to rushing and rushing offense against a team in UCLA that is 91st in the country against the rush defense. So you're playing strengths versus weaknesses here. And again, it's a big spread, but I think they'll get up early enough and let that defense hold in.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Penn State as well. When you do have a big spread like this, the run game is what's really important because that's how you're going to be able to control the pace, keep that, big difference in score going. Just go to the Lions.
See, and I'm going to have to disagree with both of you here. Penn State will win this game, yes. They're not covering a 28-point spread. They've shown time and time again, yes, they might be one of the best teams in the nation. They play down to their competition quite often. They've been doing that for years. 28-point spread, they will win this. I don't see them covering 28 points, even if they are not a great defensive team.
Yeah, once again, think of Penn State. This is not even going to be a close game. I disagree with you, Kyle. I just think Penn State, I can say 56-0. It's going to be another blowout today.
All right, we move from Happy Valley to Sin City. Syracuse taking a trip to the desert to play under the Friday night neon lights of Las Vegas. Orange in action against the Rebels and Cuse, second-ranked team of 2024. We move to first quarter action here, and the first of 4 touchdowns in the game for LaQuint Allen. Cuse up 7 early off of that touchdown there, showing off the dance moves in Vegas. And then right before here, in the end of the first quarter, Allen, this second touchdown of the game puts Syracuse up 14. The junior with 19 carries, 71 yards rushing, and 2 of his 4 scores on the night on the ground. This one back and forth, though. Third quarter, Cuse just up 3. Yasin Willis makes it 10. He hits the corner and hits pay dirt. That's 6 for Cuse. UNLV would put up 17 unanswered points, though. Before 30 seconds left in the game, Kyle McCord finds Jackson Meeks. That ties it up at 38. We go to overtime. Rebels get 3 on their first possession. Syracuse gets 6. And another win over a ranked team. Allen, 4 touchdowns on the night. Cuse a winner, 44-41. Head coach Frown Brown after the game on the resiliency of his team and his quarterback.
I'm the head football coach of the team. Then it comes Kyle McCord, and it's just kind of like we're not going to flinch. And as long as he and I don't flinch, then everyone else will be on the same page. So it's just, hey, will you get punched? Yes. I'll be able to take a shot, get back up, go find out why I took the shot, and then being able to move on. But Kyle's a great leader. Our guys love him.
All right, Fran talking after the game, but I know I was talking with yourself here, Kevin, before our show. You said you had some thoughts on this. What's going on? What are your thoughts on Syracuse right now after 4-1 right now after 5 games?
4-1 after 5 games, 2 ranked wins. It's all great, but there were some things in the game. Syracuse shouldn't have won that game. When you talk about their special teams play last night, they had 2 punts blocked in that game. You have 2 punts blocked in any football game. I don't care if it's Pop Warner. I don't care if it's the NFL. You are lucky to get out of that game unscathed. They also threw the ball 60 times. They need to mix it up a little more. There is some tough ACC games on the way for the Orange. They should be happy that they got out of this one alive last night.
You think that he should be happy? You think he's right there?
It's tough. It sounds like the old San Diego Chargers when they finished first in offense, but the worst special teams in the league and missed the playoffs. I think this offense is just dominant. It's going to pick up more of the defense. A lot of points given up, but they're starting to get the groove of it. But I think Syracuse offense is too dominant where they're going to be a legit team.
I mean, you can't get too hyped up on Syracuse no matter what. Listen, I've been going to the games for years. There's been 2 seasons in a row they've gone 6-0 and then tanked the rest of the year. They look great right now. The question with Syracuse is how do they finish out that second half? Now they do have a good quarterback in McCord. I mean, Garrett Schrader wasn't the guy, clearly. So maybe they can make that push later down. But, I mean, playing that close to UNLV, they should crack a top 25 spot after this game. I don't see how this goes deeper into the season, though.
I mean, guys, I have to tell you, you all talk about the Syracuse that you've seen and the Syracuse that you've watched. A Syracuse team that I watched probably before most of you were born was one with an NFL quarterback and a legitimate head coach. And that's something that the Orange did not have in years since Donovan McNabb and Paul Pasqualoni. And it's something I think that they have right now with Kyle McCord. I mean, with Kyle McCord, you have a quarterback who could be NFL ready, and you have an attitude and a demeanor with Fran Brown that is resonating with the rest of his team. But Don't go anywhere. Southern Tier Kickoff will be right back with all of today's college football action. But before we go anywhere, Connor Thompson, our First Alert meteorologist, is joining us with your kickoff forecast.
Penn State back at home this afternoon against UCLA. What is the weather looking like for those Nittany Lions to face the Bruins? Well, overall, it's going to be a fantastic weather day. No concerns expected down in State College. We're looking at wall-to-wall sunshine. Very comfortable conditions as well in terms of temperatures. Upper 60s. The perfect fall day, some would say. So expect a gorgeous day, not just in fact of the game, but the weather as well. The only concern is whether Penn State can walk away with the win, but overall, it's looking like a wonderful day down in State College.